January 19, 1809, in Boston, one of the most eccentric writers in history entered the world, Edgar Allan Poe. Before his third birthday, however, his father deserted the family and his mother died. Poe was then taken in by Virginia tobacco exporter John Allan. Edgar became very close to Mrs. Allan. Although she was not his real mother, he called her Ma and began to think of her as his real mother. In fact, had it not been for Mrs. Allan, Poe would not have been taken in by them. Allan never really liked Poe very much. He gave Edgar a great amount of difficulty and pain growing up, but did provide the boy with a decent life. Allan's dislike for Edgar became more evident when Edgar enrolled in the University of Virginia at age 17. He sent the boy to school with only $110 when he knew perfectly well that it would cost at least $350 to attend. The following skit shows Edgar returning from college because he needed more money. Edgar returning from college to ask Allan for more money because Allan did not send the boy with enough money to begin with.
What is he doing here? What do you want, Edgar?
I've run short of funds.
I haven't given you enough money.
Well, you haven't given me enough to go for this.
I think you've been gambling it all, spending it frivolously. You can go. You know, a son of mine, you know, a member of this family. Go, I don't want to see you again. Don't come back here. Jesus.
Poe married Virginia Clem on May 16, 1836. Poe was 27 and she was not yet 14. 10 years later, Virginia died at the age of 24. Poe, although greatly saddened, then journeyed to Providence, where he met Sarah Helen Whitman.
This is Sarah Helen Whitman's house, where Edgar Allan Poe came to visit several times in historical Providence. This is the Rose Garden over here, where they often met and talked, and he'd come to visit her. They were engaged to be married at Swan Point Cemetery on Christmas, the 24th, but on the 23rd, it was cut short. They cut off their engagement.
3 times in Providence, Edgar would stay at the Earl Hotel and journey up this street to visit his girlfriend, Sarah Helen Whitman. It was torn down, and is now a park.
Stay here on his trip to Providence, and then he'd walk up to Sarah Helen Whitman's house for their visits in the Rose Garden.
After the wedding was called off, Poe worked as an editor in Philadelphia and became engaged to a Richmond widow, his childhood sweetheart. Returning north from a business trip shortly before the wedding, he stopped off in Baltimore and was found 6 days later in torn clothes, lying on the sidewalk unconscious in the rain. He died without fully regaining consciousness.
This evening, we have some excerpts from Edgar Allan Poe's finest works. First, we have The Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door.
Just some visitor?
I muttered.
Tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing.
Back into my chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, somewhat louder than before.
Surely,
Said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then, what thread is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore.
just the wind, nothing more.
Now I'll be reading To Helen. The book claims that To Helen was based on Edgar Allan Poe's friend's mother. But we believe, through our research, that it was directed to Sarah Helen Whitman, Poe's girlfriend, which we have previously mentioned. Now, To Helen.
Helen, my beauty is to me like those Nisan box of yore, that gently o'er a perfumed sea, that weary wayworn wanderer bore to his own native shore. On desperate seas long worn to roam, thy hyacinth hair, thy classic face, thy Naiades that brought me home to the glory that was grace, and the grandeur that was Rome. Lo, young, brilliant window niche, how statued like I see thee stand, the agate lamp within thy hand. Ah, Psyche, of the regions which are holy land.
Now we will be giving a brief summary of The Fall of the House of Usher, one of Poe's finest works. Fall of the House of Usher.
Yes, I hear it, and have heard it. Long, many minutes, many hours, many days have I heard it, yet I dared not speak. We have put her living in the tomb. I now tell you that I heard her first feeble movement in the hollow coffin. I heard them many, many days ago, yet I dared not speak. And now, tonight, Ethelred, the breaking of the hermit's door, and the death cry of the dragon, and the clangor of the shield, were rather the rending of a coffin, and the grating of the iron hinges of a prison, and her